Providing is great, but your presence is priceless. Let's talk about that. Let's hop into that. What does that really mean? Like, as a dad and as a father? Because sometimes I think as fathers, we think that our money is enough. And we think that we don't really need to be in the picture. We're just thinking, okay, if I'm not in the house with the woman, I can just pay child support. But even if I'm not at home and I'm working and I'm married to my wife, what I can do is I can just work all the time and then I can just provide and that's going to be enough. I'm here to tell you that ain't always the case. So let's hop into a story like that. There was this time when and it's not to focus necessarily on divorce or anything like that, but I was first going through divorce and I was doing some paperwork and going over insurance and stuff like that. Then what happened was the insurance lady, we were talking, because I basically had to tell her, hey, I'm divorced. We got the house over here, then I got the apartment over here. So we're trying to go through the paperwork and we're talking about the insurance and if the house is going to be on the insurance versus the apartment being on the insurance. And then I was like, what's the address there? Oh, sir, I can't tell you what address she's at and stuff like that. I was like, okay, no big deal. But as I began to talk to the lady more and more, she told me that she actually was divorced. And then she told me that she was actually receiving child support, but originally they had like a week on, week off, or 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off. I was like, oh, interesting. I think we're going to do something like that, but I'm not really sure with my ex-wife how we're going to handle everything. We're still going through the process. But she proceeds to tell me, she says, Chris, I was like, what? She said, it doesn't matter basically how much he's paying me. He could pay me this amount of money, that amount of money, millions of dollars, thousands of dollars. But the fact of the matter that's not going to change is that I need physical help. And I was like, dang, I never really heard a woman say that. And as a father and as a dad, I just was kind of like blown away. I just remember talking to her and pausing and thinking to myself, like, okay, I guess it's not always just about the money. And maybe she thought from the beginning that if she didn't stay with her husband for whatever reason, I don't know, I didn't get into details and all that. But she said, we had a custody arrangement and agreement of certain type of custody. He's supposed to get them a week on, week off, and he's supposed to get them and then pay. But she said, man, basically forget the money. I need him to help. I need him to pick up the kids, take them places and do stuff. And I was kind of blown away because I never really heard a woman really say anything like that as a mom. And that's what I mean. It's, love over money. Sometimes I think as parents, we don't know how to show love. And that's why we have the 5 love languages. We have, and I'm not going to sit here and name all 5, but sometimes quality time is what kids really need. They want you to spend time with them. And I think that's really important at a young age, that you learn how to spend the quality time with the kids and you develop that good relationship with them where you have good communication and stuff. Because sometimes you just buying them a lot of things. They might feel love and maybe that's their love language. It could be. But sometimes what kids really want, and I would say especially when they're younger, is for you to spend time with them. And sometimes they see it when they're younger and sometimes they don't see it when they're younger. But the fact is, you really want to make sure that you're spending time with them. And when I say spend, just think out about as far as it being, I would just say just being that thing where you spend money on something. See your time as being spent. Like you're spending money, you're spending time instead of you spending money on the kids. And then another thing I want to focus on too is that memories last. And I was like, memories, they really do last. And what I mean by that is one of the things I was talking to my older son about, and we had a discussion because every single time his birthday comes up, I told him, I said, I'm not buying you anything. He was just like, okay, Dad. And I said, but do you understand why I'm not buying you anything? He was like, yeah. And then I said, okay, well, let me literally break down what it is and the reason why. And the reason why is because so memories last. I have my iPhone. We can take videos. We can take pictures. And what we always do is when my older son's birthday is, it's always just me and him, or it's me, him, and his little brother. And I always take him out to go on scooters in downtown. We ride around in the downtown inner city, and then we do like goat carts and stuff. But that's generally like what I do. And that's the thing, is like, oh, it's okay, man. I just want to touch him. But it's generally just something that I like to do because I feel like we spend a lot of time together and I want those memories to last forever. And that's really how I view it. Sorry about that. That was a dog back there. I just want to touch the dog. And that's how I view it, as us having that memory. Even now, like what I started doing, I have so much space and so many memories of me and my boys. And what I do is I'm about to buy another USB and then stick the cord in. No, not a USB, the flash drive. I got a flash drive that sticks into the phone and then it stores memories because I notice I take a lot of pictures and a lot of videos. So you want to keep all these memories. I mean, remember, we're in the digital age. My mom sends me pictures. It's old pictures of a picture that they took a long time ago. They take it and then they send it to me. But now we have the capability and capacity to really plug in the flash drive to the phone and then from there, save it on there and save all these memories. So make your memories last. Don't make it be, I would say, like just about money and different things like that, because sometimes when you make it about money, kids don't really understand the value of things. They don't understand the value. And your presence is really security. Sometimes we think money can be security, and I'm not saying that it can't. But the thing is that also your presence can be a big security. Children need that provider. They need that protector. And it's not just providing money. It could be providing food and providing that security, that protection that they need. Maybe they had a rough day at school, so you're there to really provide that presence and that reassurance that they really need. And that's something you really want to do. You want to provide that great presence around them in the area, be able to talk, be able to be open and talk to them about whatever it is that's going on. Sometimes too, absence. Absence is another thing that can really affect the kids, because sometimes when fathers are absent and stuff like this, and I see this sometimes, when we have like Bible studies and stuff like that. Every Tuesday I have Bible studies, but there's a couple kids, their dad is incarcerated, and I always talk to him. I give him a hug. Hey, you need a hug? Like one kid, he tries to fight the other kids and stuff, has a bad attitude and different things like that. But I always give this one kid a hug. And I don't know if his dad, I don't know if where his dad is or anything like that. But this particular kid, I'm like, he must be having some at-home issues. And I'm not really sure, but I do know of a couple kids there at Bible study where their dad isn't there. And I asked about it sometimes, and then they told me, and then I just kind of left it alone. So what I do from there is I just make sure that when I talk to them, I tell them that I care about them and I give them a hug and stuff like that. They always appreciate it. Be like, oh, Mr. Chris, how's everything going? And I give them a hug and I'm there for them and stuff. And I think that's important. You should do that. You should just be there for your kids. And sometimes they need that hug. They need that hug to say, Daddy loves you. Daddy cares about you. And fathers, you know what you want to do? You also want to fathers shape your kids. And what I mean by that, it's even if you can look it up, because I don't have the statistics with me. What you can do is, majority of it when you have kids, your DNA and your body and different things like that, majority of it comes from the father. And this is not just me just making it up. This is something you can physically look up online. You could look this up. So they really shape who they are as a person, because the mom is more of the nurturer and being there and talking, but the father can also do that too. So that's one thing that you do, is that you nurture and talk to them. Oh, actually, my son's calling right now. I'll call him after I get done this video. But you nurture them and stuff. And a lot of times that's what the mom can do. But fathers can also nurture and shape the kids and mold them and really help them be well-rounded. And time is very limited. Like today, it's crazy. I'm recording this video. There was a lady that was in Bible study, and one of the ladies, God bless her heart, her husband has cancer, and he did have cancer. And another lady called me today and said that, the husband had died. And I was like, wow, I kind of knew something could be approaching, because the last time we had a discussion in the email, it was like, he's not doing well. And I was like, okay. But then she said he's in a wheelchair. Some days are good and some days are not. I just said, okay. I didn't really want to bother her too much, because that's how I always am. Whenever I know that people got cancer or they're having different issues and stuff like that, I really don't bother them. I just try to leave them alone and let them be. But I feel really bad because I didn't take that opportunity to reach out to her. And I have seen her quite often, more than some of the other people in Bible study. But this gentleman, he has 2 daughters. And it's such an unfortunate situation that now his daughters, won't be able to see him again. But I know that they got to really help him with a blood transfusion, being the father. And I know he was a great father too. And it's an unfortunate thing, but that's why I say time is just so limited. And we always want to make sure that we're spending each and every second that we can with our kids, being there for them, and really showing them that we care about them. Because truth be told, we really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't even know what's going to happen in the next 30 minutes or hour. We don't know if we're going to get hit by a car, or if we die by food poisoning or something like that. And that's why I say, your time is just so limited on earth. So what you want to do is just make sure that the time that you do have, you're spending as much time with your kids as you can when you're not at work. When you're not at work, or you're not spending time with your wife or your significant other, make sure that you're spending that good quality time with your kids. And your kids really do. They need you. They need you as a father. I mean, you made them, so they need the father and the mother. So they really need both parents. But the fact of the matter is that even if you've fallen behind as a father and you haven't been there, you can always turn it around and be there. No matter, even if you're locked up in jail, you can try to call them on the phone whenever you have free time. You can write letters. You can do whatever it is you can to really make sure that it's not just about you sending money, but it's also about you just spending that quality time with them. So overall, I just want to tell y'all, remember, we got to get this content out. So like, share, subscribe. We got to get this content out. We got to help the fathers all around the world. That's what we all about. It's Kingdom Fathers World. We're creating our own kingdom. We're getting this content. You got it. I got it. Let's go. Let's get it. All right. So like, share, subscribe. Peace. I'm out.